We start our second half hour with breaking news out of Cass County tonight, where sheriff's deputies are looking for a person of interest in a possible homicide investigation. Detectives say the man is considered dangerous. This is the picture they provided of 59-year-old Edward Hensley. Police want to find him after a woman was found stabbed to death at a home in Mason Township this afternoon. The home is in the 19,000 block of US 12 east of 5 Points Road. Police haven't released the victim's name at this point. Hensley lives in the Napanee, Indiana area, but police want people in West Michigan to be on the lookout. He's about 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, with salt and pepper hair. He's also got a mustache and could possibly be wearing a red shirt. If you've seen him, call the Cass County Sheriff's Department.
Michigan's Office of Highway Safety and Planning is using some unusual methods this 4th of July to keep people from drinking and driving.
Fox 17's Jennifer Dowling shows us why this new campaign is focusing on the bathroom. Tonight we are learning that the man shot to death by an Ionia County deputy last week had actually made contact with at least 2 police agencies in the hours just before he died. You may remember on Friday, police went to a house in Ionia to check on 41-year-old Corey James Ryan after getting a call from his parents in Arizona. They said he was acting strange when they talked to him on the phone. Now, at first, Ryan didn't come to the door, but as police were getting ready to leave, he came out with a shotgun and fired at neighbors standing on the porch of a house across the street with no warning and no provocation. 2 men in their 20s were hit by the gunfire. We were told around now 6 a.m. on Friday, Ryan called the Kent County 911 operator and made, quote, bizarre comments about Mexican cartels and his family in Arizona. Then around 8 a.m., he appeared in person at the front desk, the Ionia County Sheriff's Department, and made similar comments before leaving. Police tell us Ryan is not from Arizona as they originally thought. They say he's in fact a resident of Ionia. The deputy involved in the incident is currently on administrative leave pending the investigation. Bob Bashara, the businessman on the east side of the state whose wife was found dead in her SUV last winter, has been arrested. Bashara, who's been suspected of killing his wife, is now accused of trying to have the alleged hitman in the crime killed. After being arrested last night in Grosse Pointe, he is being held on a charge of solicitation to murder a witness. Bashara faces a potential life in prison. Arraignment could come as early as tomorrow. Now, you may remember last January 24th, Jane Bashara was found strangled in her SUV. A handyman named Joseph Jentz turned himself in a few days later, saying he was hired by Bob Bashara. Bashara was called a person of interest but was never charged, and the case gained national attention when stories emerged of a secret sex dungeon that Bashara kept in a building that he owned. The final 2 suspects in a home invasion case out of Lowell last month have been arrested. The break-in happened in the 1900 block of Parnell back on May 26th. Police say 4 masked men entered the home, tied up 2 adults and 1 child. 1 person was pistol whipped as cash, electronics, pot plants, and other things were taken from the house. Police think this was not a random crime because the suspect knew the name of the family dog. 3 men had already been picked up in connection with the break-in and robbery, and the final 2 were taken into custody earlier this week. All are from Grand Rapids, and all are being held in the Kent County Jail. Tomorrow marks 1 year since her disappearance, and there are still more questions than there are answers. Baby Catherine Phillips disappeared on June 29, 2011, when she was just 4 months old. The baby's mother, Ariel Cortland, says that Kate was last seen with Sean Phillips as they were getting ready to leave for a DNA test to prove that Sean was the baby's father. Ariel told police she went back inside to grab something, and that's when Sean drove off with the little girl. Baby Kate's clothes were eventually found in Sean's pocket. Her car seat was in the trunk of his car. Police and volunteers searched for the baby for months with no luck. Eventually, Sean Phillips went to trial and was convicted this past April on unlawful imprisonment charges. Now, in a shocking turn of events last month, police transitioned the case into a homicide investigation, saying they believe Sean knows where baby Kate's body is. Sean Phillips is currently serving a 10 to 15-year prison sentence. A 4-year-old girl is still in serious condition tonight after accidentally being run over by a tractor. Happened yesterday afternoon on a farm in Newaygo County. Family friend says Jasmine Fisher wanted to ride on the forks of the tractor with her brother. But when the tractor hit a bump, she lost her balance, fell off, and was run over by a front tire. Amazingly, the little girl got up right away and started losing consciousness after being moved into the nearby home. Fisher was flown by Aeromed to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Investigators are treating this as an accident. They don't expect any charges to be filed. It only took 1 week for the Griffins to get a new head coach, and he is coming directly from Joe Louis Arena. Jeff Blashill got the call today to become the 9th head coach in Griffin's franchise history. The 38-year-old spent last season as an assistant to Mike Babcock with the Red Wings. Now, if that name sounds familiar to people on this side of the state, it's because Blashill was head coach at Western Michigan in the 2010-2011 season, where he led the Bronco resurgence and won several National Coach of the Year honors. Blashill both played and coached at Ferris State. He will be introduced at a press conference later this week. Blashill replaces Kurt Fraser, who took an assistant coaching position with the Dallas Stars. We will hear from Jeff Blashill and the Red Wings organization coming up on Fox 17 News at 6. The U.S. Supreme Court has struck down most of Arizona's controversial immigration law. Last season, Tom Izzo and the Spartan basketball team played a historic game on an active duty aircraft carrier. This November, they're going to play for the troops again and do it in Germany. MSU has announced that they will open the season against UConn on November 9th. The game will be played at the U.S. Air Force Base in Ramstein, Germany. About 3,000 enlisted men and women will make up the live audience for the game, which will tip off at 10 p.m. time in Germany so it can be broadcast live on ESPN to an early evening audience here in the States. Both MSU coach Tom Izzo and athletics director Mark Hollis expressed great admiration for our men and women serving when they talked about last year's Carrier Classic and said that had an effect on making this game a reality. The Montcalm County Sheriff's Office says a jailhouse conversation between two inmates helped foil a murder-for-hire plot. The county undersheriff says it was a tip from another inmate that led to the arrest of 36-year-old Ronald Earl Cooper. The inmate told detectives that Cooper, who was already in jail on aggravated stalking charges, wanted to set up a hit on that same woman, a 24-year-old in Kalamazoo. Detectives say they found several pieces of evidence, including a map and payment for the hit. The sheriff's department told the woman about the attempted hit, and at no time was her life in danger.
Lots of times there are talk, you know, in jail settings about certain things, but this was taken to the next step, and thankfully good investigation, good police work was able to head this off. So our detectives started a painstaking investigation on getting, you know, the exact details, and then finding out facts and if this was truly a desire of this person to carry out this action. They then followed up with phone calls and then written correspondence.
Cooper is charged with solicitation of murder and is being held on a $1 million bond. And with holiday travel comes people probably trying to drive after having a few drinks. The state of Michigan, though, trying a new and creative way to curb drunk driving. You see it right there. It's a talking urinal cake. Yeah, you heard me right. A talking urinal cake. The Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning is sending out hundreds of the talking cakes to bars in time for the 4th of July, and some of them will be in Ottawa County. The cakes are activated by motion and ask the man using the urinal, had a few drinks, maybe a few too many? Coming up at 5:30, Jennifer Dowling takes a closer look into this very interesting initiative.